YouTube, Smooth the Trucker. It is the 5th week driving solo here for May Trucking. It's been going good. It's going good now, I should say. It wasn't going so good at the beginning of this week. I wasn't getting the loads I was hoping to get. I had about 200 to 300 miles only at the start of this week for the first couple days, but just recently, these last 3 days have been really good. Yesterday I had 500 miles, I had 600 miles today, and another 500 miles tomorrow to get to my load. I'm currently on a load from Wyoming up to Portland. So I got to haul back up there to get up there by Portland tomorrow. Got another 500 miles to get up there. But basically what I wanted to talk to you guys about today was basically how setting goals out here. When you're over the road truck driver, how it's so important to set goals out here, because you're in a position out here where you're making good money, and it's just real important to the choices that you make and what to do with that money is just really really important when you're out here, because you obviously most people wouldn't want to be doing over the road forever. There's a lot of people that do it for forever, but it's better to have a plan. I was talking to a guy the other day. He was a driver for May Trucking. He's been a company driver here for 17 years, and it's what he loves to do. It's just what he loves to do. But man, you guys, there's so many different directions when you get your CDL. What directions you can go down to choose to. There's so many different paths you can follow. What my goals are, some of my goals are that I plan on doing is I hope to become an owner-operator in 1 year. To be an owner-operator, I plan on just buying my own truck, probably in cash. For those of you guys who don't know, before I became a truck driver, I was a lifeguard at San Clemente State Beach for three seasons. So I was able to save up quite a bit of money doing that, luckily. So I already have a bunch of my savings. So I'm hoping by 1 more year of experience out here over the road, and I'll hopefully be able to pay cash for my own semi-truck. So that's the plan. But I don't know why most people don't want to become owner-operators. It's for those of you guys who don't know, being an owner-operator is where you own your own semi-truck, and basically for every load, I believe it's 71% of the load pay goes straight to you in your pocket. When you're a company driver, which is what I am right now for a company, I don't own Big Bertha here. Yeah, Big Bertha. She's I don't own Big Bertha. It belongs to the company. So basically, they pay me 26%. I believe it's 26. It's either 25 or 26% of all the loads go to me, but they pay for all the gas. They pay for any breakdowns. So basically I don't have any expenses, but at the same time I'm only getting 26%. Being an owner-operator, you get 71%, but you do have to pay for fuel. You have to pay for any breakdowns. You have to pay for your own insurance, registration, and all that good stuff. But when you do the numbers, you still end up making a lot more money as an owner-operator compared to a company driver. I think the average owner-operator, you gross a lot of money. You gross approximately around $150,000 a year. You obviously don't take home all that because you got to pay for fuel and you got to pay for expenses, but still you're still making a lot of money. I would say a good significant amount more than a company driver. So that's what I would do. That's some of my goals. In 1 year I hope to become an owner-operator and own my own truck. I probably won't be leased on to May Trucking. I'm going to do some research and find out what's the best truck to lease onto to get the best rate. But you just got to be smart about it. You got to be smart about that kind of stuff out here. When you're over the road, it really benefits you. A lot of companies, May Trucking probably wouldn't want me to tell you this, but some of the ways to move up faster and pay is by switching around to different companies. So if you stick with May Trucking or a good starting company for at least 6 months or even 4 to 6 months and switch on to a different company, most likely the other company you're going to be getting a lot higher pay. So it's just a good technique to get into. Just do some research and you guys can find out a lot about that too. So that's what I plan on doing, becoming an owner-operator in 1 year, probably switching on to a different company. But it's so important to set goals out here. I mean, it's fun, driving over the road, seeing the country, but I could see, how after years and years of doing this, it would start to get old after a while, so you want to be smart with your money and invest it into stuff that's going to give you a bigger asset in the future. It's also really important to save your money. When you're out here, try to set a budget. For me, I try to set a budget. I try not to spend between $10 to $15 a day is all I try to spend, on food or expenses. And I try to save everything else, Obviously, it depends what situation you're in. If you're a father or you're a mother and you have a family to support, and all your income has to go to that, completely respect that. It's you have to provide for your family. But for you young guys, you young single guys like me, who you haven't really acquired that many expenses yet that you have to pay for, save your money. If you can learn how to save your money when you come out here, man, it opens up tons and tons of opportunities, especially when you're over the road here and you're making good money, for May trucking. If you can drive 400 to 500 miles a day, get over 3,000 miles a week, you'll be making over 60,000 a year. So if you can figure out how to save that 60,000 and invest that into stuff that's gonna build for your future, that's honestly the smartest thing to do. What I personally try to do, I try to save probably 80% of my paycheck, go to my savings, but I have different investments that I invest my money into. I'm invested in a company called Secured Income Group, which is basically a real estate agency down in Orange County, California. Super good place to invest your money in. They give you a real high rate of return, 8% rate of return. They just gave me like a $400 check last week for your annual percentage yield is what it's called. But find good stuff to invest in. I also have some money in a Capital One 360 savings account and then a Roth IRA too. Try to dump your money into stuff like that, you guys. If you can save your money and invest it, the more you can save, the sooner you can become the owner-operator. And also what I plan on doing after becoming an owner-operator, you guys, I want to buy a house. My goal is in 2 years to buy my first house. And at the rate I'm going right now, it's a very realistic goal. You can make good money out here over the road and save that money and invest it wisely. After I get my semi-truck in a year, hopefully, a year and a half to 2 years later, or 2 years from now, I want to get a house. I don't know where yet, but I want to invest in real estate. That's what my parents do. For those of you guys that don't know, shout out to my parents, Jeff and Jenny Lee. They'll probably be watching this video pretty soon too. They subscribe to my YouTube channel also. But basically, that's what they do. They invest in real estate. They have 2 houses that they own, and they rent out one of the houses to, tenants, and they have roommates in their other house. I want to do stuff like that, invest in real estate. And that's honestly the best thing you guys could do. If you could save your money, invest your money wisely, and put it into stuff that's going to build for your future. Because when I become a, owner-operator, after I save up enough money, and hopefully buy a house, I want to switch to a dedicated local job, so I can, settle down and have a family and stuff. That's the goal, you guys. It's over the road's cool, but I can see how it would get old after a while. Right now, I'm loving it. I've been to Wyoming. I'm heading back to Portland now. I was traveling down the I-80 the whole way down here. It looks like cowboy land out here, from the old-fashioned John Wayne movies almost. It's cool. I was driving through a bunch of frac sand, oil field trucks on the way down here. I haven't seen a whole lot of those yet, so it's a new experience. Every different route I get to go down to, it's honestly just a blast. It's so much fun, especially when you're first starting out. You're seeing the whole country. I'm seeing the whole entire United States every time I travel somewhere. So it's just been a blast getting to do that. But I can see how after, about 3 or 4 years of doing this, after you've seen everything, it might start getting old. So that's why it's important, you know, set goals and save and invest for the future. If you guys can do that, you'll be set, you know. That's what I'm doing right now. You know, I'm hoping, you know, to become a, you know, like I said, owner operator a year, invest in a house, you know, in 2 years. That's the goal, you guys. It's important to set goals. Set goals when you come out here. That's really what I really wanted to talk to you guys about today. So that's all I got for now. Smooth the Trucker, out for now.